What's up, players? It's been a month or so, maybe a little bit more since I put anything on here. It's been a minute. I'm sorry, Sprite. Here we go. Yeah, it's been a second. I've been floating, so I don't really know what to say on here. But floating it happens to the best of us. It's where life just kind of happens and you just kind of let it flow, which is both good and bad. It's bad because I'm not making any progress and there are things that I want to be doing that I'm not. But I think it's also fine to decompress if you're not at the stage in your life where you're on your shit all the time. And I'm not yet. So it's when you're in that building phase, I don't think it's that bad to stop for a second, kind of decompress and let life happen. I think you need to live life a little bit and not be so just go 24/7. And I'd love to get to the point where I love doing that. But right now I don't. And I'm trying to fight through that. So, yeah, that's kind of where we're at. I finally got a TV stand after 9 months of living here. Check that out. We got motherfucking, see the professional setup. But yeah, we got the motherfucking dual monitor shit now, so that's cool, I guess. So yeah, kind of been floating a little bit, and my kind of question today is how do you get out of that and how do you initiate change? And that's kind of all I talk about on here is how to initiate change and how to get out of the situation you're in, which I'm still figuring out. So you get to figure it out along with me. And I think everybody's journey is different and nobody's going to have the same exact thing that works for everybody. So whatever I figure out in the future that works for me probably won't work for you. You're going to have to tweak it and do something else. But that's what I'm doing. I'm tweaking it, figuring out what works best and how I can learn and incorporate what I learn into my life and make it as productive and as fun and as fulfilling to both me and others as possible. So yeah, one thing that's been a constant for me is work. So just working, ton of days. Tomorrow's my weekend, but it's not my weekend and I'm still going in. And the next day after that, also supposed to be my weekend and I'm still going in. So it's no breaks. Work is always going on. So it's really hard to schedule other stuff that I want to do into this super tight time frame. And I've talked about this before on my channel, but it roughly equates to on the bad days. Sometimes I get a little bit more, but majority of the days where I'm doing my 10-hour shift, I'm getting 2.5 hours of free time a night. And with those 2.5 hours, I have this really tough decision to kind of pick, do I want to just sit and watch that, or do I want to hop on the computer and do something productive, work on the website, or work on, I don't know, I like making music sometimes, even though it sucks. It's fun though, and it's somewhat productive because I'm learning something. Or do I want to read, or do I want to do some other third thing? I don't know. It's kind of, it's rough to make that decision. And I'd like to be able to form a schedule, I think, for what I want to be doing, because I don't want to tie myself to being a person who lives by a schedule. I don't want to be dictated by oh, it's 9 o'clock, I have to go do this and I can't deviate from plans, because I love being spontaneous. You probably love being spontaneous too, because nothing is more fun than your homie hitting you up and saying, hey dude, do you want to go out into the middle of nowhere and start a bonfire and shoot guns, or whatever you like doing. I don't really do that too often, but you catch my drift. Or just pulling up to a Walmart somewhere and just doing something stupid. That's fun, and I love being spontaneous, and I hate missing out on those things. So I don't want to be a person that lives by a schedule, and that's been rough for me, figuring out how to stick to something and have a somewhat scheduled life without missing out on those spontaneous things. Because every time something comes up and I miss something on my schedule, it just throws everything through a loop because it messes with the identity I have of like being a person that follows a schedule. So it's kind of like an either or. It's either I am a person that does that or I'm not a person that does that. I need to find a way to mix them to where it's like, yes, I follow the schedule, but if something comes up and I want to do something else, I can do that. And I think that's something that's important for figuring out right now to get me to the next level. And then I think it's also going to be something that's important once I get to that higher level as well, where it's like you got this business that you're running and it needs a lot of attention, but you're still able to go away from it when you want to and when you have something important that you can take care of. I think kind of the main key thing for that is having the clarity and the decision-making skills to decide what's important, what's not, and be realistic about it. So that's something I'm kind of working on. With that said, let me open up my calendar. That's going to be backwards when I show it to you. All right, check this out. So this is my calendar that I'm currently kind of living by. So we're digging into this right now, but 12 to 7 a.m. is sleep. And then I tried doing some bullshit here that's not really working out. This is my super specific morning schedule that I would not break at all because it's so specific it's too easy to not do. But yeah, guess how that went. Didn't work out. Brush teeth, pray and meditate for 10 minutes, make breakfast. And then read for 30 minutes, get dressed, and pack for gym. That's like extremely simple. And I like kind of do some of that stuff. Like I do all this stuff anyways, except for the waking up at 7 a.m. And then I don't read. And then I really hate that I don't pray as much or meditate as much as I'd like to. And I don't really eat breakfast. But brush my teeth, get dressed, pack for gym. Checked. And then work. That's 9 through 7 on here. And then go gym 7:30. I'm factoring in a tiny bit of commute time. And then dinner at 8:30. And then complete one Gopher digital task in Notion, which is the business. And then unwind at 11:30, which again, it's not very realistic because a lot of the time this blue spot right here eats into, or the teal spot ends up eating into where the blue spot is. And it's a lot more relaxing than I like really should be doing. My main point in kind of showing you that is I think I've kind of overcomplicated my schedule and made it something that is so unrealistic that I'm not going to follow it. And a lot of it kind of happens by consequence, just because once I wake up, I kind of have to go to work. And then this is something I've kind of built in more recently. But going to the gym has become part of my regular routine now. So that gets added in because of one of the principles in this book that is somewhere around here. I usually show it. But Atomic Habits by James Clear, awesome book. But one of the things it talks about in there is linking up one habit or task to another one. So after I work, that's when I go to the gym. And then after I get home from the gym, so I'm supposed to be eating dinner, but a lot of other things happen. Usually what happens after getting home is going straight to the TV. Sucks, but we'll figure it out. Yeah, side note with the gym, I've gained like 10, almost 15 pounds in like less than a month. So that's good. Like I'm still small. Like don't get me wrong, you know? Like we're still, you know, check out the width, dude. There's nothing there. Anyways, compare that to some of my videos where I also my shirt off and some other fucking something in the past. Anyways, nothing like fucking wild, but like that's something cool that's consistent for me. One thing I like talking about, or one thing that I'd like to talk about more that I kind of realized recently, and I might have brought up once or twice on here, is that your brain will kind of add or subtract from the identity that you give yourself. So if you identify yourself as a person that goes to the gym consistently or eats healthy or is able to run this awesome business or is able to do this or that thing or whatever, every time you do something related to that, your brain's going to take down a note and say this is for or against what your idea is. So every time that I actually show up to the gym and I actually do something, my brain takes down a note and it goes, oh, okay, yeah, Grant's the type of person that goes to the gym consistently every week. Bam, add it to this pile. And then every time I miss the gym and every time I'm like kind of cheaping out on my time there, goes in the other pile. Brain takes down a note and says, yo, Grant's not really the type of person that does this stuff. And so as I've kind of built the habit of going there more and more often, that identity gets strengthened, if that makes sense, something like that. But yeah, it can also be taken away because I was really into the gym for a long time and then it went away for like 2 years and I'm back into it now. But yeah, it's how things go. Anyways, that's kind of what I've been trying to figure out recently is how do I pack all this stuff that I want to do into this small time frame and not be completely dead, because I'm always dead all the time. Like as soon as I get home from work, just out, dude, crash. Or I stay up till like 3 a.m. doing jack shit and fall asleep and wake up really tired. So what I want to try and do, going back to one of my earlier points, is reschedule and kind of reblock stuff to where I'm adding in fun, like programmed fun times, and then adding in like other stuff that I want to do and making it realistic for myself, and not so much going off the time, but going off of ending another task. So after I get home from the gym, then I make dinner straight away. Like I go straight to the kitchen or whatever it may be. And this is just, excuse me, it was just another strategy I'm trying, because it takes a while to figure it out. I've tried so many different things. So this is just the next step in trying to figure it out. Hopefully it works really well for me. But I think I would encourage you to try to find your own strategy and what works for you. There's a lot to learn. It's a very steep hill trying to figure out what's going to work best for me, my situation, how I'm feeling during that time. What can I sacrifice? What can I not sacrifice? Do I need 7 to 8 hours of sleep a night, or can I survive on 6? Or it's like, do I need to watch the show to decompress, or can I get by and train myself to not really need that? There's countless things that need readjusting and I need to reevaluate. But there's a lot of stuff that I want to do, and I have some really, really steep goals. So I just need to figure out how I can become the type of person that can accomplish those really cool, awesome things. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at, figuring shit out slowly. We're getting there. So yeah, a lot of fun. I want to work on an actual video for the actual channel here soon. Just ideas are kind of figuring it out, But yeah, it's kind of short update. I'm gonna try my best to post on here more. Gotta identify myself as a YouTuber, because I got imposter syndrome, and I don't really think this is me, but gotta build that into myself eventually somehow. We'll figure it out. Anyways, yeah. Hopefully the thumbnails is my fucking tits. I'm not making a fucking thumbnail. Anyways, have a good night. Hope you figure your shit out. Best of luck. Thanks for listening to me bullshit about this. Bye.